Hey guys, Dr. Chris.
Dr. Dada.
We just want to address a couple things because this has been a big conversation, especially over the last week in the office with regards to vaccines and measles and outbreak and all this sort of stuff. And it's something that cycles around. You know, the last one that was of this nature was whooping cough. And the reason we want to make a video is because it is a wormhole, right? It's a black hole of information.
Right.
There are fear tactics and all kinds of stuff going in the mix. And while you're here getting adjusted, we want the focus on you.
Right.
Focus should be on you and your health and your growth and your expansion and how you can become better, not what this, elected official had to say or this thing that's happening. Let's talk about what you can physically do to the best that we know now. Yes, there's still some stuff in play that we're not sure of the outcome quite yet, but let's focus on you and what you can do. And so let's get into it. We're going to talk about a few things to give you some context and some tools that you can hopefully use in your own life and in talking with others, in talking with family members.
Because let's be real, anytime we're in a state of like super stress and anxiety and fear, healing is absolutely not taking place. You get your HRVs done here. You know what that is. It's checking for your heart rate variability. You get a nice little dot in that chart that lets us know if you are sympathetic dominant or parasympathetic dominant. If you are sympathetic dominant, that's fight or flight. That means your gas pedal is constantly on. That means your immune system function, gone. It's just not going to be working. So the higher in that stress and fear place that you are, the more cortisol your body's pumping out. And that's just no bueno to immunity. So let's kind of break down some things we've done, because I think everybody's really afraid of getting sick at times. Number one, media does not help. And I just really hope they're bought. That's about as far as I'll go there. Number two, the immune system is an internal thing. Your that innate intelligence that we talk about, your body's inborn intelligence, it knows what to do. And your immune system talks to that beautiful other system that we love so much called your nervous system. So you will hear us tell you over and over again that your nervous system and getting that nervous system checked and adjusted will be the biggest boost to the immune system. Because sometimes people will call and be like, can we come in? We're not feeling too hot. And that's the time that we turn around and say, no, you probably need to come in like every day this week, because then that'll be a bigger boost to your system. So first and foremost, get adjusted. If you're already here and a part of that picture, fabulous. If you're not, we'll tell you how to get that all set up. But getting your getting your nervous system checked and adjusted is going to be a massive, massive, really simple, natural step to making sure that your immune system is top notch.
And like you said, we were fed a lie and still continue to be fed that lie that the only way we can achieve immunity is through a vaccination.
Sure.
Which is absolutely not true.
Sure.
Because that, if you get deep into it, getting a vaccine gives you what's called artificially acquired immunity. That's not lifelong. That's why there's boosters, and that's why there's other mechanisms that they want you to come back and do this and that. Whereas getting sick, convenient or not, let's say it's not. It's not convenient. It's not comfortable. You don't want to see your little one deal with chickenpox or measles or whatever. Your heart doesn't want it, but if you know the outcome, they get lifelong immunity.
Sure. They
get to be protected forever if they actually go through it, which is a good thing. In a natural sort of setting, this is the way our grandparents did it. They didn't have some of these, like chickenpox, for instance. That was like 1991 that vaccine came out. Before
Sorry,
I got chickenpox.
Sister, that's you.
Yeah.
That's my sister Sage on. But
so this is something we've survived as a people before this, right. And we will continue to. So it's not the only way.
Yeah, and you have to also realize that there were some key things that changed amongst all of that, like sanitation,
biggie,
clean water, huge. Clean food, just really simple things that made a massive difference. These were bigger problems back then, because look how people were living, but that's not how we live now. And so most of these infections, don't call them diseases. They are not diseases. They are infections. If you look those two words up, they're totally different meanings. They either will have a fever, a rash, a cold.
That's basically it.
That's basically it. Chickenpox is the same thing. Measles is the same thing. And we kind of talk about some of these issues and infections as if, like, if it happens, you have no solution on earth. Like, if your child gets measles, because they talk about, oh, they could have encephalitis, and like, if your kid gets measles, I'm pretty sure you're going to take them to a professional to have them checked out. So God forbid their fever's getting so high that we can't control it. We have a facility called a hospital or a doctor's office, and I'm sure they can admin a lot of stuff to them and it'll be just fine. And yes, it's not convenient. And yes, I remember having chickenpox as a kid and somebody had to stay home with me. And that's a whole other different question, but that's a part of it too, is because we're all working. So we can't take a week or something off, but we have to just kind of peel it back a little bit and just realize that we have solutions. And chiropractic is one of the first ones out there. Number 2, nutrition.
Ooh, biggie.
So we are sugar monsters in this lovely state of...
So good though, right?
I know it is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a non-sugar eater. Let's make that clear. But at least I eat regular, like real sugar. Don't eat aspartame or junky shit, guys. Sugar, though, however, weakens the immune system. So if your diet consists of just...
processed.
Usually it's not table sugar that everyone's eating. But something processed, candy, heavy carbs, anything out of a box, soda. You know, like... I had a crappy diet in high school and in middle school, so no wonder these kids get sick. I'm surprised I didn't get sick even more.
I was sick all the time for a crappy diet.
Like, we ate like hell. Like, knowing what I know now, I just want to punch, 15-year-old Adana in the face for what she ate. But, like, legit, that's what happens. Just watch your sugar intake and your immune system will be so much happier. And then, like, move your body a little bit, exercise. Your lymphatic system needs to move in your body. That's why we'll have you stand on the plate back here. So exercise is a massive part of it.
Imagine me with a remote control and hitting the off button. Turn the news off.
Yeah.
Turn the stress off. If you want, if you want to be fed stress, watch the news. It'll give you plenty of it. But just turn that off. Reduce your overall mental stress.
Because it's not the full truth. I'm sorry. It's just not. I know it seems so fancy. It comes from the New York Times or the LA Times or NBC. It doesn't matter. It's not the full truth. I think the most recent, CDC's stat that I read talked about, nationwide. Last year there were about 683.
Like that, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have the correct stats. But it, narrowed down to 20-something people per state. How many people live in this country of California?
I don't know, but this country of California.
I swear to God!
I don't know, but I did look up LA County. LA County has 10.16 million people.
Okay, mathematicians. Let's say it was 30 cases. Let's say California had a lot more. 30 divided by 10.16
million.
Does that number equal... Would you ever classify that as an outbreak?
No. Well, the CDC says 3 or more cases.
Is an outbreak?
Yeah. 3.
I can't even, these stats are hilarious to me.
Yeah,
3.
The flu comes around every single year.
Yes.
Tons of people get the flu.
Yes.
They don't call it an outbreak.
Ever. However, have you ever met anybody that said, oh my God, I got the flu shot and I got the flu?
All the time.
Plenty of times. So what makes you think people that get the measles shot or the chickenpox shot or the whooping cough shot can't get what they got the shot for?
Happens all the time. It's on their paperwork. If you read the vaccine insert, it says you may get X, Y, or Z infection.
So leave the unvaccinated alone because it could come from anywhere, guys. It really can. Yes, it could come from an unvaccinated person. Yes, it could come from a vaccinated person. That's not the point. The point is that there's plenty of things that you can do to boost your own immunity up, no matter what it is. These bugs, these whatever that are around, they don't really care. They don't really discriminate and just want to come after you. They're just around. So you do you. You build your system up however you can so that you fight off everything. Or that, God forbid, if you do get something, at least your system gets over it quickly. Because like Dr. Chris mentioned, it's okay to get stuff because then you get lifelong immunity,
Certainly.
Right? So it's all right to get things, but how you respond to things is the bigger issue.
Yeah. And it's a soil versus seed story. Our internal soil needs to be so resilient and strong that the seed, aka the pathogen, the germ, it can come in, but it will not thrive.
Right.
So we can be exposed to stuff. In here, we're exposed to people all the time who are, dealing with stuff, and we breathe the same air. They cough on us. Little kids cough on me all the time. But I do a lot to make sure that I don't go down with that thing. And the occasional time that it may happen, I'm happy that I get the immunity for it. But you can do a whole lot for yourself. It's not this helpless situation where you cannot be preventing what's going on. Let's talk about the recent stuff going on. So there's some recent political things going on, and that's been the big thing conversationally. That's been a big distractor for folks, or a point of anxiety.
Sure.
SB 276. Forgive me, I don't remember the exact number. I just know it's bad. So it sucks, right? So it went through the first round of votes. It is in the process of going through approval to become a law. What it would effectively do is remove our ability to get a medical exemption for vaccinations. Now, it wouldn't 100% remove it. It would take the power away from the doctor that wrote it, and it would have to get approved by a third-party review board to say whether it's legitimate or not. Now, if you're watching this, many of the families in our practice here at Innate, you guys already have medical exemptions for your kids. Are they going to go away? We don't know. Does that mean you're going to have to think about a homeschool situation? Maybe. There's a lot of stuff up in the air, and I get how that can create a lot of anxiety. And we're in that same boat, right? We have a little one. She's not school aged yet, but when we get to that point, we're going to have to figure out what are our actual options. What can we actually do? Until then, so in this process, we need to just be gathering facts, right? Facts about what's going to happen when it goes into effect. What can we do now proactively? Who do we have to call as far as our elected officials to urge them to vote no on this thing? Hopefully it just dies in that process, but we don't know.
Because this also honestly, it has nothing to do with vaccines. It doesn't matter if you believe in vaccines, if you don't believe in vaccines, if you like some vaccines and not the other, it doesn't matter. To take away the ability for a doctor to actually look at a patient's family history. We're not making this stuff up. I just pulled up the MMR kind of insert. It's about 11 pages. And it talks about all the things to watch out for if the person has XYZ issue or family history of XYZ issue. That didn't come from me. That came from them. And that just goes completely away. And unless there's a really horrendous near-death type of reaction that your child has had, it doesn't matter. And that's really sad and that's really scary if it gets to that point. So I think we need to put political differences aside and just realize that any and all health issues should be able to be decided between you and the doctor, because that doctor is the one that gets to evaluate and really knows your family history and knows what's going on. So if you're not aware of this, look it up, contact the right people. We'll put some information below in this video. But most importantly, just figure out how you can best support your family and you with immunity. And, I'll make a quick side note here. There's a lot of things nutritionally and supplement-wise that you can do. I'll put some recommendations down below too, but, Congoplex chewables is a huge one for us because it's very high in vitamin A and vitamin C, vitamin D, and getting outside as much as possible. Phenomenal to do. Echinacea, great herb to add in there. Young Living has a ton of oils that I love. Everything from if you do get measles, what can we do to put on it? Some aloes, some purification, some frankincense. You've got other oils rolling around. You've got thieves, immunopower. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And like Dr. Chris said, it's not like you're just going to sit there and do nothing. No, that's not what happens. And I think sometimes people think that that's what the unvaccinated do and that they're very irresponsible in that sense. And it's the exact opposite, actually, in the sense that we get to do more to make sure that our immune systems get stronger so that we're able to take whatever is there as well. So I know we went on 58 different tangents on stuff, but just know that there's key steps that you can always focus on. Get adjusted, eat well, move your body and exercise, keep a nice, solid, positive mindset. Read your affirmations because that'll be a massive part of it. And sleep.
Yeah.
Just get some rest. Because I'm not gonna lie, I totally stayed up for a couple nights because I was kind of anxious in that sense. But I just realized that's not proper like energy flow at all. So you do those 5 things and then you add in some great supplements on top of that, you're golden.
So realize that you have power in this situation. You are not powerless. If the law goes through and we have to make modifications, then we look for solutions. We figure out what that solution is. We are all able-bodied human beings that we can figure out how to do what's best for our children.
Right.
You know, even in that sort of confined situation, that is the law. We will figure out a solution so that we can raise happy, healthy kids regardless of
And
what's
know
going
we're
around
on your
us.
team.
Yeah.
Like we're right there with you. We're on your team. If you don't want to talk to anybody else about things, talk to us.
Yeah.
Well, it's a safe space. No matter what you believe, we're not here to tell you what to do with your kids. We're just here to let you know on the flip side, we are your power couple for basically boosting up that immune system and making sure your whole family is as healthy as can be.
That's it. I know obviously this doesn't cover everything that there is to know about vaccines or this outbreak situation or the upcoming law. If you've got questions, please. There is, however we end up posting this, there'll be an opportunity to leave a comment or ask a question below or send us a direct email. We're very easy to get a hold of. We'll answer your questions. We'll be that support for you, especially for those, because it comes out a lot, like you said, who maybe are getting opposition from family. You feel like you're alone and you just need some questions answered. Please let us know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. And just know we're in this together.
You got this.